So, is Peloton blowing their massive success of quadrupling in the last year? Let's find out. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Newsroom. I am your host, Neil Wintereg, joined as always by Dr. Greg Wintereg, author of the Amazon best-selling book, Fun at Work. And as well, just so you guys know, we have started a kind of like a live stream every Monday night, 7 o'clock.
That's right.
You get to hear us talk about ideas in a longer format, a little bit more casual.
More of a rant.
Not always, no. That was just last week. Usually we talk about staff meetings, all sorts of stuff, but it's just us hanging out. So it's every Monday night, 7 o'clock. Be sure you check that out. Today we actually have a newsroom topic that we were kind of interested in talking about. And there's an article here from the New York Times that says Peloton's rapid rise is threatened by its slow delivery. So, you know, Peloton is that company with those really fancy stationary bikes that you, for your home workouts. I think the base model is like $2,000 or $3,000.
I think it's $2,500 for the base.
And then you get these ones with the big screen and live workouts and all kinds of stuff like that. So Peloton, they're in the news because they are blowing up with the coronavirus and the pandemic stuff as far as orders and popularity, and their delivery times are slow. So everybody is complaining about how it takes 2 to 3 months to get your bike, and then there's no live order tracking, so you can't see where it is.
Right.
And so everybody's getting all pissed off at Peloton about that. So that's what we're here to talk about. I have an article here, and we're kind of going to just spitball this as we go through it. So what's your initial first thought here?
Well, first of all, I think it's awesome that this company has a high-end product and they've found their niche now through COVID. We've done other videos. Through COVID, they actually now are expanding more rapidly.
By the way, it says after more than quadrupling in value to more than $40 billion during the coronavirus pandemic.
What? They're worth $40 billion?
Yeah, they're worth $40 billion. So we know who started the coronavirus because before the pandemic, they were considered like a pretty like an in trouble company before the pandemic.
Before the pandemic, so you know the shutdown and everything hit in March and April of 2020. The Christmas of 19, they got slaughtered because they had a commercial leading up to Christmas of a guy giving his wife a Peloton bike. At any rate, Christmas 2019, they got clobbered over an ad because they thought the husband shouldn't be giving his wife a Peloton, which she wanted, by the way, and they're kind of doing PR damage control. So then here we are 90 days later, their product takes off because it's an at-home workout that people actually want. They have a monthly subscription, $39 plus. They're a hot item. Okay, so now their company takes off worth $40 billion. That's still a bit staggering to me. And now they're getting clobbered for slow delivery. Now, by the way, this is my remarkable too. I had to wait 10 months.
6 months, 7 months?
Oh, it was at least 6 months to get it. I got a notification when it was coming, July, then it was going to be September, then it was going to be October, and then one day it shows up at my door, and it was like $400 or $500, and I wasn't making noise because they couldn't keep up with the delivery of their new model.
Well, that's the interesting thing that I find about this. One is I think that Peloton has grown so fast that they didn't have the organizational systems to actually grow with it. So my thought on that, which I said briefly off camera, and then you said we need to start just filming, was Peloton, you know, before the, like you said, before the pandemic, was kind of seen as a risky investment. I'm not sure who's really going to pay $3,000 for a bike. And it was kind of questionable about their future. Then they quadrupled like that. And so you added all this growth onto a rickety foundation, which has caused this to kind of topple that way. That's my personal opinion, is that they weren't ready for something like this or planned for something like this. And then they didn't change their operating basis enough once the growth started. Right? But this also does bring me back to the stupidity of valuations of companies. You know where I'm going with this. How can a company worth $40 billion not be able to manufacture enough product? You're worth $40 billion. That's because they don't have $40 billion. The number nerds have decided, just because of some fictitious numbers, that it's worth $40 billion.
An algorithm. According to the algorithm, they're worth 40B.
Yeah, so you're telling me that they were worth $10 billion and they were seen as a risky company? It's just like, it makes absolutely zero effing sense how these valuations come around.
But let's circle back around,
to
the business aspect of it. You do need to keep up with your growth. But if you hit some sort of this is a tidal wave of growth.
Yeah.
Then, you add people, you add systems, you add organization as fast as you can. You do not freak out about something like this. I mean, if I'm the CEO of Peloton, I don't know who he is. I'm like, yeah, go ahead. Shoot darts at me. Go ahead. I'm worth 40B. Then
I also think that people that decided to order it during the pandemic need to also understand that probably everything has changed.
Yeah.
But also maybe you should have ordered it a year ago if you needed it that badly. But what I mean by that is that it's kind of like some items that we pay for take longer than 2 days to arrive.
Well,
we have the
Amazon.
Amazon syndrome going on.
We're not baking cookies here. This is a high tech piece of equipment with solid state components that have to be manufactured, et cetera, and put together. So I predict this is not going to hurt them at all, and will turn around, and they're going to continue to ride this crest, and they'll get their act together eventually.
I don't think so. I think that they're going to go back to being what they were before the pandemic.
I think they'll come through.
They're going to be better because they've made a lot of money here.
Did I tell you I got the CEO's cell phone?
Isn't he sending us money to do this video?
Shh.
It's like the Uber account all over again. I think that they're going to, if they're mismanaged before the pandemic, they're going to be mismanaged during the pandemic and after the pandemic. We shall see.
But
that doesn't mean that they're not going to make money. That's not what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They're going to make money. People are just going to have to wait longer. But also, if I were them, I would just have a big thing up that's like, hey, guess what? There's a 3-month waiting list.
Exactly.
If you want to put $1,500 down for a down payment to get onto the waiting list, go right ahead.
You know this better than I do. How long do you have to wait to get a Ferrari? Don't you have to wait
Well, it depends. I mean, there's some that people aren't even allowed to buy because you haven't paid them enough money over the last 10 years.
Right, so I'm a Corvette guy, and I can't just walk in and write a check for a Ferrari. Because I haven't been on the list, and I haven't.
Well, you can get the crap one, or the one with all the options don't even once because it's a weird color, and then you get authorized to buy a nice one that you want.
So this is my point.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter.
No, it's up to them.
It doesn't matter.
It's up to them.
So in your company, if this happens, then you just do your best. You scramble. You reorganize. You hire. Forget about the negative publicity. People are demanding your product. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. And this is what happens when you start selling more volume than you are able to produce. So if you start seeing sales piling in, then your production has to join that, or else you're going to forever stick behind. And that's what's happened here is they started getting all these online sales and online orders because that's just how sales are done these days. And then the production side was not able to ramp up to meet that.
Yep.
And again, that's a management issue.
This is a beautiful problem to have.
I think it's
fabulous problem.
I don't know. You and I are kind of different on this one.
I think it's a fabulous problem.
I think if they're mismanaged
If I'm the CEO,
before, during, and
I'm
after,
Yep.
I don't know. We'll see. I'm right this time. I was wrong about the stupid Chipotle burrito shells, but I'm right this time. So anyway, we'll see you
America,
next time.
for your votes, by the way, on the Chipotle video. I crushed
He was
them.
wrong still.
I crushed him.
He was wrong still. So give a thumbs up if you're still watching this. Hit the subscribe button, and then we'll see you next week on the Newsroom.